I've been able to make a significant sum of money online at a very young age. As you can see, this is just one of my payment processors. I have another one I can go to right now after this refreshes, so you know I'm legit. Let's go here. And I've been able to make all of this money online selling AI, which takes me less than 1 hour per client to actually be able to fulfill because of the process I've delegated. In this video, I'm going to show you and break down exactly how I was able to do this at 19 years old with no degree, no coding, no previous business experience. I literally jumped straight in, and I'm going to tell you and teach you how to not make all of the mistakes I made. That way you can jump into it faster and be able to do it. Now, before I jump into it, a lot of people are going to be asking, okay, Nick, why are you doing this? Like, why are you giving away this info in the first place? I see that you know what you're doing. I showed the payment processor, but it doesn't make sense. Why would you be, making your industry more competitive? Well, statistically proven, 99% of people watching right now are never going to take action on anything that they do, especially with something that is free. So, free content, 99% of people won't take action. The second reason as well is I am confident that right now, even if the competitors and people in the industry, and just like for you and for any business owner, 99% of people are coming on and they don't know how to fulfill. They don't do things properly. So, sure, maybe the initial sign of, signing on a client is going to be a little bit more difficult because they've already ran through like 4 or 5 agencies that, burned them out in the past and they don't trust, agencies anymore. It's just going to be a harder sales objection that we need to get over. But once we've signed the client and we show them that we can give them the results that they need, they're going to stay on with us even longer than if there were no competitors, and they're going to pay us even more because we're actually able to provide results, whereas it looks like most of the people on the market aren't able because obviously they were burned by 4, 5, 6 agencies in the past. So let's get right into it. We're going to literally start with the entire breakdown. So we're going to identify business needs. We're going to select a profitable niche. We're going to develop an AI offer around that. We're going to figure out how do we actually sell this offer, so to the specific niche that we've picked. How are we going to close those deals, and then how are we actually going to be able to deliver on the deals that we're closing and retain clients, etc. So the three things and what we need to look at for business profitability and money coming in any business are these three pillars here. So you have lead gen, you have appointments, and then you have sales. Okay, so lead generation is obviously crucial to book appointments, and then in order to get sales you need appointments, and so on and so forth. One cannot do without the other. I have seen sometimes lead gen straight into sales, but we're talking high ticket here. I'm talking $10,000 plus offers that we're going for. So we're not going to be doing lead gen directly to sales. To increase our return on investment, we're going to be doing lead gen and then generating leads, so generating clients and people coming through, turning them into appointments, and then sales. Without these, forget it. Forget it. You're not going to be solving a problem for a business that will allow you to charge $10,000 up front. Okay. Now the next thing we need to know is the niche. Okay, so this is one of the most important. This could make or break your business because this is the vehicle that you're moving in. Okay, if you were to do the exact same thing and target lawyers, if you were to do the same strategy, same outreach, same fulfillment system for a lawyer as you would for a roofer, you're gonna fail. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're picking the right vehicle. Now, I've organized these three sections here. You have home services, professionals, info products. Okay, now these two right here are going to be the hardest to break into. I would say professionals has to be the hardest of these three. Info products would be the second, and the easiest to break into would be home services. The reason being is home service guys are not tech savvy. They don't really know what they're doing in terms of the technological side of things. They're usually a couple of years behind when it comes to knowing what's going on and the market, And the actual fulfillment process and advertising process has stayed the same for these guys for the last 10 years. So I personally recommend home services. You can break into these, but you're going to see a return on investment in a longer period of time. Once you break into the market, it could exponentially grow faster than if you were to go into home services, just because if you do manage to fulfill for these guys, then it's a lot harder than if you were to manage to fulfill for home services. So they will pay you more, and there's less people who can fulfill. So yeah, I would recommend staying with home services. You can break into these too, but once again, info product, service and business owners are way more tech savvy. Like, they're pretty much a glorified entrepreneur. They're doing everything inside of their business, whereas professionals are, more professional. They have PhDs. They've gone to law school. They've passed the bar. They've gone to medical school, right? Dentists, doctors. So smarter people, higher standards, etc., etc. So for this example, we're going to stick in home service, whatever. We'll say HVAC, okay? Now, we've identified the business needs, the profitable niche, and then developing a AI offer. So this is the system that we are going to use, okay? Covering the 3 pillars of lead gen, appointment setting, and sales conversion. So for lead generation, what we're going to do is we're going to combine AI with what's already working. That's the biggest thing that people don't understand is AI is here, and they only use AI, and then you're relying on AI, and if one thing goes wrong, then your fulfillment is fucked. So that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to take what's already been working and then implement AI to optimize and enhance that process. So we're going to use Facebook ads, Google ads, and then we're going to use AI optimization, AI proven funnels, AI lead tracking in order to enhance that. On the appointment setting side, honestly, I would personally rather use a human. We can also set up an AI phone calling system to dial all the leads that were coming through, book those leads in. I would keep, no matter what, like, honestly, AI chatbot works better for the DMing side of things. So I have an AI chatbot covering the DMing side, and then maybe a human that's doing the calls and overlooking all the text that the AI is managing, just to oversee that, and that's how we're going to cover the appointment setting side. And then for the sales conversion, what we can do, there's a couple different things. We can do a training, so have modules that are going to help our client increase their close rate. We could also do closer placement, so if the training does not end up working, we can place in a closer for the business and then coach them on it. Or personally, what I recommend is a CRM system integration. So the thing is, a lot of these guys are still on pen and paper. They're still like using shitty systems, shitty tracking. So everything is very unorganized. And even if you do start generating leads and booking appointments and increasing sales, the business is eventually going to crumble if the foundation under it isn't strong. So what I would recommend, and you could kind of use this as an upsell, is something like this CRM called Jobber. So you go to Jobber, and basically this is a CRM literally for home service businesses, made for home service businesses, and you could set it up for them in a couple of hours, charge like an extra 5 to 10 grand on an upsell, and this is a huge amount of value that they're getting right up front, okay? So this is something that I do recommend for the sales conversion side of things, because that is just going to overall increase everything in the business, not just the sales. Okay, so now that we have those 3 covered, how are we going to sell this to businesses? Okay, like how are we going to sell this offer that we are selling to businesses? There's a couple different ways. Okay, you could do cold outreach, but personally, I'm going to say paid ads, okay? And if you don't have the money to run paid ads, stop the video right here. Go and make some money, work a job, help get them to pay you and just work for them through like a referral system, but get money so that you can have money for paid ads, and then run that to have a consistent amount of lead flow and you're consistently signing on clients. I would 100% recommend not to rely on cold outreach to start. If you are a grinder, if you are a hustler, be prepared. You can sign your first client with cold outreach, but be prepared to work 12, 14, 16-hour days in order to do it, okay? So that's what I recommend, paid ads. If you don't have the money to run paid ads, you should save up, work a job, and then use that to run paid ads. Now, there's a couple different ways that you could structure the ad format. So I personally would recommend using a UGC creator where it's just talking to the camera. There's a couple different ways that you can go about it. VO3, so Gemini VO3, Google Labs actually, I'm pretty sure, yeah. And you can connect it with Gemini 3 and Google VO3, and I'll show you what you can create. It's actually pretty crazy with the VO3 ads. It's literally UGC AI. So here, I'll pull this up right here.
Foundation and waterproofing companies, we will get you 50 estimates per month guaranteed or you don't pay. Click learn more below to book a call so we can show you how.
Yeah, that's not a very good one, but let's pick another.
Foundation and waterproofing companies, we will get you 50 estimates per month guaranteed or you don't pay. Click learn more below to book a call so we can show you how.
So as you can see, pretty cool. You can do so many things. So yeah, I would recommend using Google VO3 for that. And there's a couple different ways. You could also just do straight talking to the camera. What we're getting our client to do right now for us is actually record a video of them on a job site. That's probably the best way to do it. So yeah, we're going to do that. And then for all the lead targeting and all the funnels, you could do funnel templates inside Go High Level, but all of the lead targeting, the ad copy, ad creatives, headline, all of that we're going to be doing it on ChatGPT. You literally just go into ChatGPT. You could even paste in your creative and say create a ad copy text for this. It'll create it for you. Okay, if you can't do that at this point, I give up. So yeah, use ChatGPT, and that should be very easy. And then you can use retargeting sequences to optimize scale and have consistent revenue coming through with paid ads. Okay, now, so how do we close deals? We know how to set up our offer, what to pitch to businesses, the niche, everything in business needs to success and actually profit. And we know how to sell to businesses using Facebook and Google ads. How are we going to close? So there's 3 different ways, okay, and 3 things that you need to do. And once you've established this and adapted it, you are going to be able to consistently close. You need to build trust, okay? Establishing credibility is the most important thing. To start off, you may not have trust, okay? So what you're going to need to do is prove value and ROI. And the way you can demonstrate that is literally by breaking it down, especially with home service, breaking down the numbers, making sure that it's clear they understand, okay, at worst, what we guarantee is 10 to 20 estimates per month. On an industry average of 35% on a $10,000 offer, you're closing $30,000. We're only spending two grand in ads. You're only paying us $2,000. That's $4,000 in, $30,000 out. So making the value very clear and also leveraging guarantees to start. You don't want to do that long term, but honestly, if you have no credibility, no testimonials, it's going to be hard to close deals without a guarantee like that. And if you don't have an idea of a guarantee, just check your competitors and see what they're offering and offer something maybe as good, if not a little bit higher. And then making it very easy in a streamlined decision. Okay, it should be very clear to them, and they should not be confused of what your offer is and exactly what you're doing for them. They should understand exactly what you're doing and make it very easy for them to say yes and hard for them to say no, right? Make them feel stupid for saying no. Now, we understand everything in terms of the process, okay? From literally picking the business needs, the niches, the AI offer, how to close other businesses, so using Facebook and Google ads, and then how to structure for closing the deal. How are we actually going to deliver and fulfill on these? Now, this is one of the most important things, because long term, even if you market very well and you sign on lots of clients, if they're not happy, they're going to leave bad reviews and they're going to leave nasty reviews, which is not going to be good long term. And you will, karma will come back. If you do good in business, money will always come back to you. So you have to make sure you're fulfilling, and this is the most important part. We use this delegation system. So the first, have three options. You have either hire a freelancer. It's cost effective and flexible work, but time consuming management. You learn to do it yourself. Okay. Long term control, higher margins, but slower execution, or use an agency. Now, personally, I think you can do a mix. Okay. What I mean by a mix is, let's say you haven't signed your first client yet. Okay. You reach out to an agency and you ask them, hey, I'm going to have like a potential number of clients coming through. I'm willing to pay you guys, but I also want to understand and learn the process myself while it's happening. So you're not committing any money up front. You're making sure that you're using your client's money to actually cover the cost of the agency. You're learning how to do it yourself. That way, when you want to delegate and hire on an employee or a freelancer, you've learned all the strategies that this agency used. You now know it yourself, so you can create trainings around it. You can create SOPs. You are also always a plan B, because if something goes wrong, you know how to do it yourself. And then that gives you the knowledge and the information to be able to train and hire on a freelancer or employee when it comes the time to, you've had a consistent number of clients coming through every single month, and you need to hire them on for a salary or just commission, or you're done with relying on an agency. So that's the best way to fulfill for clients. Now, specifically, how are we going to fulfill? So we're covering the three metrics, right? Now, the first is for the lead gen agency. You can literally just hire a white label marketing agency. There's a marketing agency called, it's Ninja, I believe, something like that. Ninja Promo. I don't know. There's a bunch of white label marketing agencies. So you can see that right there. So that's how you're going to fulfill for the lead gen side of things. And for the AI side, there's a couple different platforms. Right now we're using Retail.ai. Retail is probably the best for phone calling conversational AI. And then for SMS bot, we're using Closebot. So yeah, Closebot is really good. I would say one of the best for chatbots on the market right now. And on the CRM integration side, you can use Jobber, right, which is I 100% recommend. Now for hiring processes, you can use Upwork. Okay, you literally go to upwork.com/search talent, and you can literally search for talent in here. So for example, let's say I wanted an AI developer. Search up AI developer, and you can find their hourly rate, 45, 20 an hour, 70 an hour. And what you do for these guys is, instead of charging them hourly or whatever their hourly cost is, you calculate, okay, how much is it going to take for this first build? 5 to 10 hours. Okay, you go to Shaham. You say, okay, he's $20 an hour, so it's $100 for the entire project, for a 5-hour project. You go to Shaham, you say, hey man, I just want to let you know I will have some clients potentially. You don't have to sign them on right away. You can still message them. You can say, hey Shaham, I just wanted to know, would you be interested in a project where I pay you $100? It's a 5-hour project, and I'll literally have a bunch of different clients coming in at the same time. It's a similar project. You come through, and then you could talk them back and forth and have like 4 or 5 developers ready to go, so that once a client comes through, if one of them isn't good, you have a second, you have a third, you have a fourth, you have a backup, and they're ready to go. And you're not putting any money down until the client actually comes through. So, as you can see, this is a pretty bare bones process, but everything that I gave you today is enough to where you can get started. If you want more in-depth videos, you can check some of those on my YouTube channel. If you want more in-depth help and you want to know how I've been able to get close to approaching to $1 million online at 20 years old, I do have an opportunity for you. You can work one-on-one with me. It is going to cost an investment. You do need money to invest in yourself and in your business. And if you believe in yourself, I guarantee that you will make your money back working with me in a very short period of time. Like I said, I am going to be screening, I am going to be going through it as if you are applying for a job because you are essentially going to be my business partner. I only work with a few people per month, so the people that I'm working with, I want to make sure that they're succeeding because once again, it is my time as well. I want to make sure that you're not wasting my time. Um, so yeah, if that's something you're interested, I do have a link in the description below. You're going to apply there, answer some questions. You'll book a call. It'll either be with me or my business partner. And if we decide you're a good fit, we can move forward, we can get started, and you'll see numbers kind of like this. We've had people start from zero and scale to 60K a month. We've had people start and close their first 10K deal within 2 weeks. If you want that, and if you want to be the next person to do that, and you think that you can be the next person to do that, and you're willing to invest in yourself to be able to do that, first link in the description below. If not, no worries at all. Watch my YouTube video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.